Right, okay, so this is a little trick to sort of live play channels of the music. So let me explain what I mean here. I've got a simple drum and bass beat and an underlying bass, which sounds like this. Okay, now I've got 16 bars, right? And I've also got some other sounds. So for instance, I've got this growl, sort of growly bass bit if I want this, right? I've also got this vibra sound. I've also got some strings. So we're using an arpeggiator on the strings. In fact, yeah, we're using an arpeggiator on these other things as well. I've also got this this bouncy bass thing here, which sounds like this. So they're all following the same sound. Now, if I play the whole lot together, it sounds awful, right? So if I have these switched on like this, right, it just sounds hideous. So I've got a trick so I can bring each of these 4 channels in when I want, right? And the way I do that is I've got this control channel here, right? And on this control channel, I have got 4 sort of control instruments to switch these on and off. And they're mapped to individual keys like C2, D2, E2 and F2, okay? And on each of these we've got an instance of analog, right? And they are all the same for each one, right? But let's just take this first one, okay? Now this control channel is sent to sends only because I don't want any actual audio output from it. But if I just temporarily set this back to master and I press one of these keys, all it does is output some noise, right? There's no filter on it. The amplitude envelope is flat, right? So we just get a dead noise thing. Okay, now that's that. Right. Now, what we do now, in order to control the target instruments, we say, if we go to this growl bass here, right, I've got a gate. Notice this gate thing is switched off, right? Forget this one for the time being, right? Let's just talk about this one. If I switch this on, notice it's a sidechain gate which is getting input from the growl bass. And I've just got it set to post FX. It probably doesn't really matter if I have pre or post. Let's say post FX. Now when I've got that switched on, if I enable this so the channel plays, when I hit the track, although it's got this tune, this melody, that melody will only play if I'm depressing the C2 key as dictated by this channel here, right? So, right. First of all, I have to make sure this is sends only, right? See? Right, similarly with the vibra thing, I've got a gate. If I switch this on, it's side chaining from the pre-effects of the vibra control instrument. Okay, so similarly with strings, there's a gate instrument here, and this is getting input from the string control, and likewise with this bouncy bass thing, I'm getting it from there. Okay, so just as a reminder, that those gate sidechain inputs are all coming from this rack here, right? Okay, so now I can sort of improvise on when these instruments play. They've all got their own melody, but they just drop it in and out whenever you play the keys. Okay. Why isn't that playing? Why isn't that playing? Oh, it's because I haven't got the channels enabled, right? Right, I don't honestly know how useful I'm going to find that, but I think it just helps to get the creative juices going, you see. And then what I can do is, of course, put all that into a MIDI clip, which I've done here. So now I don't actually have to press the keys. I can just play this MIDI clip, which if we look at here, is just got, is making use of the C, D, E and F2 keys as dictated by that control rack here. Okay, but that's what the MIDI clip looks like. So now if you look at if we look at, say, one of these, you notice that the gate instrument has to be sort of calibrated so that it reacts to the input signal from the control instrument. And for that reason, I found it useful on the control rack to have a fixed velocity, to make sure that you get a fixed signal output from these control things. Okay, yeah, so I don't know whether that's going to be useful for me in the future, but if I want to recreate this, at least I know now how to do it. Right, thank you and goodbye. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what, I might also explain what this one's for, because this one just provides a bit of staccato for the growl input. So let's switch off all the other stuff, right? Okay, because on the growl bass I've got a second gate instrument, right, which is, this is the one I've just shown you, but on this one we've got this, right, and this is taking input from channel 15, which is this, right? Now if this is not on, it doesn't play. So if I turn that gate off on the growl bass, turn that one off as well, we've just got sort of legato playing. But by using this clip, I can control when that growl bass actually plays. Got it? So if I go back to that channel and I re-enable this, right, so that's playing all the time. Okay, that's out. For instance, let's get rid of some of this. If I get rid of some of these, So it's like a secondary. Well, this is the first thing that sort of provides that staccato playing of the growl bass. And then we've got a secondary one, which is taken from the control rack I showed you earlier. So it's sort of an extra layer of complexity. Yeah, so there you go.